Hello everyone, how are you all today? Welcome to Soul Focus on Friday night, and we have a very special guest for you. Stathi, how you going, mate?
Good, mate. How are you?
Oh, excellent. The weekend has started in Adelaide. It's a long weekend, so
Hey,
I'm pumped.
Melbourne here, mate. Good old lockdown Melbourne. So Friday night, nowhere to go, nowhere to be. Here we are.
Cold and wet.
Perfect place.
Perfect
Cold and
place.
wet, and Melbourne. It's Melbourne, 4 seasons one day, as they say. But these days, yeah. Hey, look, here we are.
Here we are. You do have coffee, I trust?
Yes, thank you. Coffee, of course. Always a coffee in
Enjoy the
hand.
gods. So, hello everyone. Welcome again. Good to see you all, and welcome to Soul Focus interview show. And I'll get it rolling. So, Stathi, can you tell us us all about how you got into spirituality?
Oh, I didn't. I never got into spirituality. I was not interested in it.
No?
No, I had no interest in spirituality whatsoever. Nothing to do with religion. I was interested in the law.
Okay.
I was actually interested in. I was researching the law. I had a case that I wanted to defend myself in court with, so I was researching the law. So that's where I actually started. Spirituality was through the research of law, and it wasn't spirituality. It was more to do with religion and dogma, and how dogma itself dictates law and so forth. So that's the part of any form of spirituality was through religion, really. And Solomon's Temple, by the way, that was all
right.
based on Solomon. So yeah, that's where I pretty much started. Not with spirituality. I had no. So researching the law itself. There's psychology involved in law as well. There's philosophy in law. There's a lot involved in law itself. So I was researching, as I said, law, and I got into psychology. I got into philosophy, history, language, words. The main thing about it, all of what I was researching was words. Understanding the language that we speak, why we speak, what we speak, how we speak it, what do the words truly mean, where they originated. So dictionaries, Latin dictionary, Greek dictionary, English dictionary, French dictionary, German dictionary, and I can go on to a whole list of dictionaries that I got just to understand words, which again was all still based on law. Spirituality came to me. It pretty much hit me in the back of the head with a baseball bat.
Funny how it does that.
Yeah. Look, not being into spirituality. Yes, through philosophy and psychology, you get into spirituality. You cannot dismiss it. You cannot ignore it. There's a lot of agnostic teachings and so forth that's involved in research. When you're researching something in particular, you cannot dismiss a lot of the topics that come along with it. So law itself led me to, it was actually Eastern philosophy. For some reason, I ended up to Eastern philosophy, which from Eastern philosophy, I started to understand what we call today chakras. Understood the meridians. So it wasn't really understanding spirituality, but again, for me, it was more the language that I was looking for to understand law. This is still, for me, everything that I was doing was always about law. It was not about what we understand spirituality today and what we can speak about. It was not my journey. And in 2000, one night I was reading a book, finished the book. The book was, I still remember the book, Ken Wilber, No Boundaries. It was a great book. I recommend it to anybody. Be very open-minded. It opens your mind whether you like it or not. And reading the book, finished the book, again, not about spirituality, nothing to do with that. This is where spirituality came to me. This voice spoke to me. A particular voice, don't know, it was a male voice, and it said to me, it actually spoke to me and said to me, okay, my name is Stathi, that is my birth name. It said to me, Steve, everything that happens for a reason. It's happening now. Oh, the rest from there is a very long story. But it repeated itself. I went to bed. As soon as my head hit to the pillow, I get picked up. I sit upright. And yeah, the journey was going into. I did a Scrooge thing.
Was it
picked up? I was levitating. I was off the bed. I was picked up, and something sat me upright, and now something took over at this moment. When I an energy, the best way I can describe was a particular energy. It sat me upright. So from laying down, I sat upright. It picked up my left hand, and my voice changed. In this moment, my voice just this depth of a sound of a bellowing. I just bellowed the words that I spoke at that time. Again, non-religious and non-spiritual. So the shock to me is going to be a lot more than anybody else. And I scream out, Father, look what they've done to my body. And from that moment, I just get ripped into seeing all my past lives. Wow. I got taken to a distance where I cannot even describe what the distance is, to a point where I'm watching a beginning, if you like it. I'm not the beginning, a beginning. Yeah. All I remember is portholes opening up. I can see people doing rituals at this particular time. They could see me, I could see them. I'm bellowing at them. I'm arguing with these people that I've got. Well, I say people, they're wearing cloaks. So I'm seeing all this. I'm getting taken to my past life. I'm watching all these rituals going on. Now, this to me is all new. I knew about rituals, but to see something, and when I say opening up a porthole, right in front of me, it was a porthole opens up, and it was like a two-way mirror. I could see the other side. As soon as I saw them, they see me. They started to panic. Now, at the same time, I'm being drawn into the past. I'm going into this recollection of everything's happening at the same time. And I'm bellowing at these people that are running in a panic at this moment because they're looking at me as I'm watching them, telling them a lot of things at this moment, that they can no longer hide. We know where they are and we can see them. And then I get pulled out of the past. And this is the strange part. I get taken to the future. So I'm watching something occurring in the future. And at this stage, the whole stage, there's a lot of things going on at this moment. And for me, this is happening. I don't know what's happening. I'm aware of what's happening. There at this moment, I'm very aware of it, but I still don't know what's going on. But at the same time, not knowing, I was knowing at the same time. So I was knowing at this moment. So I get taken to the future. And I see something. That something is very, very disturbing to me. And I kept bellowing and screaming at this point and asking to be mad, because what I can say that this is madness. This can't be true. I just kept bellowing that out. And from that,
I can imagine.
I don't know if you've seen Raiders of the Lost Ark. At the end of Raiders of the Lost Ark, where they open up the Ark itself and the energy comes out, it hits one person and then it splits and starts to go to everybody. Well, I'm watching what is happening in the future. And all of a sudden, there's millions of people around. We're all seeing the same thing at the same time. I started to see through everybody's eyes. I started to feel what everybody was feeling. So the intensity of what I was feeling was now through humanity that was all around. My body was convulsing at this stage. I was just going through this whole, something was ripping me apart. Something was just pulling something away from me. And I'm still screaming and bellowing, let me be mad, this can't be true. Anyway, I get pulled away from the future and I come to the present, and I'm in the present because I look to my right, ex-wife now. I look to my right, my ex-wife is there. And from that moment, as soon as I look at her, I get pulled out and I'm outside of the earth and I'm looking at the earth. Um, this was calmness now. So I'm going through this hectic past and
Yep.
future thing. And now I'm outside of the earth. Everything's silent. Everything's quiet. And in front of me, I see the earth. And there was this really fine line right through the center of it, left to right. Above the line was the image that I saw in the future. And below the line was the face of Jesus. And this voice says to me, you choose now. From that moment, I just get dumped straight back into bed. The bed was drenched, tears. I cannot describe the amount of
Yep.
tears that were coming that came out that night. The bed was drenched. My body was just completely drenched, and I flopped. I just dropped at that stage.
Wow.
Anyway,
I can imagine.
that was my night of awakening. Whatever that was, people say awakening. I woke up that night.
That sounds like a radical awakening.
Right.
And then some.
Radical. And then some, yes. So from that point onwards, well, that was a journey from there onwards. It's 20 years ago.
Yep.
And 20 years ago to now, so that was 2000 that I woke up. I continued with my research. And now something completely had happened to me. I wasn't looking for it. I didn't know what it was. So I'm out there now, back into my books, philosophy, reading philosophy, and back into the psychology. I have to say, psychology helped me a lot. Carl Gustav Jung, thank you very much. Back in psychology, I started to read and see things very differently now.
Yep.
I could just see, this is what, maybe I cannot explain this one, but I was able to now read from within outwards. It was looking at things in a very different way.
Yeah.
I continued looking and researching and searching and going out and looking at meeting people and trying to understand what was going on. See if somebody else had this had happened. Now, a lot more happened that night, of course. So I'm not going to stay there because that's hours upon hours of conversation. I had other situations along the way as well. I had a heart attack one night. Now, 2 years into it, I sort of I've met a lot of people at this stage, coming to terms with what was happening to me. And one night I go to bed, and this is where a lot of things changed from this point. I go to bed, and again, as soon as my head hits the pillow, my left arm goes numb. At this point, I was just I'm still researching. My mind's going through all these things. My left arm's just gone numb, and I just felt the left side of my body just go numb. And the only thought that came to me was, if this is it, this is it. At that moment, my whole body just went numb, and I was gone. I went. The best term I can use is the void, and this was void of whatever. Peace. When I say peace,
so like a nothingness.
Oh no! Nothingness could not describe it. Peace does not describe it. So the calmness does not describe it. I was home. I was exactly where I wanted to be.
Yep.
At this point, though, I could see spherically at the same time all around me.
I've heard of that.
As much as it's a void of anything and everything. You are everything and anything at that moment. So you're seeing. It's just a seeing at that moment. Anyway, from a distance, I see this. I see something coming towards me or getting bigger. At this point, there's no. I could not say it was getting bigger. I could not say it was coming closer to me, but from nothing, it came to be full size. And this amazing, beautiful woman. Don't ask me what she looks like because I've got no idea. But beauty, I cannot describe. Wearing this beautiful green flowy dress. She spoke to me in Greek, and in the translation was, Stathi, what are you looking for here? As soon as she said that, bang, it was like someone hit me with electrodes on the chest. I jolted back. Healing came through. At that point, that's where a lot of things started to change. I started to do things. Well, my healing started to begin, but the healing process of me doing healing started to begin at this point as well. My body started to shift. Movements started to happen to me on their own. My hands started to do certain things, which I started to observe. I'd be walking and I'd pause, just freeze. It would be like glued to the ground, grounding, if you want to call it that.
Yep.
I'd get into a state and my hands would just start to move and do certain things. And I'd be pushing on my body and I'd be pulling things. I didn't have any idea what that was. Again,
Yep.
back into the books after I went through and researching, trying to understand what it is. Yes, it's called mudras, meridians, acupressure, and so forth. These days I've got names for them. Started to understand chakras a lot more, started to understand auras a lot more, started to understand spirituality, the terminology, the words. Now, the one thing that along the whole journey, as much as I was learning all this, this was just coming through. No one was teaching me. There was no one to actually explain to me what was going through. Even the books, I could not find anything to explain what happened. I've spoken to so many people, researched and looked and spoke and traveled, went Thailand, I went to India, I went Canada, I went here, I went there, I went to find out. No one can give me an answer that was satisfactory. There was no satisfactory answer to what was happening to me. So 20 years down, it's pretty much I have come to my own understanding or non-understanding or not knowing. I actually don't know anything. I can explain why I don't know anything, but I don't know anything. I took everything to. I didn't want to know at this point anything about spirituality. I wanted to know me. Who am I?
Okay, that makes sense.
It wasn't. Everything. I kept looking and looking and aiming to understand. And I did through researching who I am at this point, aiming to understand myself. Is how I learned a lot of things about spirituality and about many other topics as well that I can get into.
So what sort of things were you looking at to understand yourself?
Well, it wasn't as much what I was looking at. It was along the way, certain things were guiding me, and I cannot explain how I came to understand how to look at something. The one thing that I kept, something that kept pushing me to look at the words and look at the language, and that was always from the beginning. But it's always followed me from the moment I started to research law to this moment. The language has always followed me. There was always something about the language. When I started to listen a lot more, I started to listen to myself speaking more. I started to listen to how I was speaking. I started to question how I came to understand certain things. How do I know certain things? How do I know this is this or this is that? Or how do I know? How do I know what a cat is? How do I know what a dog is? How do I know what a bird is? How do I know? How do I know these things? Well, I have to really ask that question. How do I know what a cat is? So seriously, I can ask anybody now and say, how do you know what a cat is? Are you going to give me your answer, or are you going to tell me what you have been told? So now this is me speaking to myself, though. This is the process that I had to go. I had to do this on my own to understand it. So questioning all that, I simplified it pretty much by putting it down to, okay, we have a dictionary, and in the dictionary there are all these words that we all use. We don't know these words. We believe they are and they mean, and they're associated based on what we've been told.
It's the only reference point we've got.
That's all we have, yes. So everything that we know is exactly what we've been told. Not because we know it, we believe it's true because somebody said this is what it is.
Yep.
Well, I didn't want to know what I have been told. I wanted to know who is it that got told. You see, I got educated. Who is it that got educated? I know that I can learn my education. I'm using education at this moment to communicate with you.
Yes.
So I know this. I know this education, but it's not explaining anything to me because it's only telling me what I've been told and pretty much how to communicate with somebody. Okay, so I can tell you now that you have a body. Okay, I have a body as well. I can tell you I have these things because this is our language and this is what we have been told.
Yep.
Well, things for me started to change because when I started to look at it like that, I have a body. I started to question, who is it that I am that has? Okay, so I've got a body. Who is it that I am? I started to listen to my own words and my own questions at this point. So now anything that I have been told, which is education, I do not know. I can only speak about experiences, which is what education really speaks about. Who's the experiencer?
Yep.
So whatever words we use to describe ourselves is because we have been told this is who we are. So remove what you've been told is what I did. And I'm left now with what?
What you know.
Well, what do I know? I don't know, because even the word I know is still being told to me what I know means. So I don't know. I can say that I know I don't know because I can tell you I believe the words that I'm using for you to understand. I don't know because they were told to me. They're not my experience.
So you were searching to get to a deeper experience of like knowingness.
Every time I looked to understand who I am, it was always that, okay, if I can see it, I cannot be what I see. If I can feel it, I cannot be what I'm feeling, because there's always that which is feeling something. Okay, so if I have something, I'm not what I have. So every time I thought I had something or I was something, it was an experience. So I'm still experiencing something, and I was always left with, okay, I'm still experiencing this, so it cannot be what I am, because there's the experiencer and the experience. I'm always left
Yep.
at that point. So what is it that I am? Okay, my question still arises, what is it that I am? What answer would I give, which will still be based on the communication and the words that we use, education? That would still limit me to what I have been told, so it still does not give me an answer.
True. I mean, so are you going from the perspective of like trying to understand what the consciousness is?
Well,
Or where it's
what
coming
is,
from?
where does it come from? It's not as much of where it comes from any longer. Um, the whole process of language itself, once removing it, we don't dismiss what language includes, and that's numbers as well. So a lot of what I say has got to do with time as well. So it's understanding time and how time works itself, and what memory is and what memory works. So the whole process of language brings you to, okay, you're not the language, so we can simplify it to that point.
Yep.
Okay, the language itself includes a lot of things, and one of them is time. That these are things that we believe. So if we start working with beliefs, we believe in time. What is time? Okay, time is a measurement of a point A to point B.
Yep.
Do we exist in time, or are we observers of time? Where do we exist? So that's a part of the journey that I was looking for. Where do we actually exist? What is it that we speak about the present moments? We speak about now. We speak about being present, being conscious, and so forth and so forth. What does that truly mean? At what point is one present, and what would be an indication or a marker to say that you are in the present moment? How would you know? So that is,
Yep.
go. I'll ask you the question. How would you know
No,
you're in the present moment?
I don't know, because I see things happen, but I guess they've already happened as I see them happen.
Go on. Elaborate a little bit on that.
Well, whatever's going around with me, once I've witnessed it or I've seen what's happened around me, it's already happened. It's already in the past.
That's
So,
right. Go on.
so how so like how would we go to be in the present?
Well, it's in the present itself. We're always in the present. The only thing that
Yep.
keeps us out of the present, or nothing keeps us out of the present. We can never be not in the present. We can have our focus on something that is not in the present, but we're always present. We are a particular focus. So we hear the term where focus goes, energy grows.
Yep.
Okay, so we give energy to what we focus on. Everything that I'm saying to you right this moment is past tense.
Yep.
It's in our memory now. Okay, it's past tense. So everything I'm saying, if we work it on the time basis, is every second is past. Second is past. In that second, everything that you can possibly imagine happened in that second worldwide. But it's past tense.
Yep.
We seem to want to hold onto that something in that second.
Yep.
So as we hold on to it, that starts getting further and further away. But the more we hold on to it, the more focus we have on it, more energy we give it, it creates a reality. This is a form of manifestation. Because we cannot let it go, it's still in the past, we're living there because that's where our focus is. Now, we try to, depending on the situation of what has happened that you're holding on to, you aim to look at how could it be different? How could it be, how could I have done something different? Or could I have said this or could I have said that? Well, you're creating a whole new reality based on a situation, a moment. Because you're living there. You're living in the past. Even though you're present, you are living in the past. Now, by aiming to change what had happened, you have to experience it at some point. Okay, you will experience it. By being present and constantly being present and being aware that someone is present or one is present, you are aware that the word that is being spoken and the word that is being heard is past, and you don't hold on to it. The action that has happened exactly as it's supposed to be happening. Right now, everything that is happening is exactly as it should. Nothing is out of place. We accept it for what it is, and we move on. This moment just flows. As this moment flows, each word past tense, each second past tense. We are observing the moments unfold.
Yep.
Without holding on to it. That is the moment. That's where we're existing. Right now, everything is exactly as it should be. Acknowledging the moment for what it is, not holding on to it, we can move on to the next one. What is the next one? It's not pre-planned, not pre-thought. As something is occurring, you're just observing and accepting it and embracing it for what it is, no judgment. So at this moment, well, getting used to the moments and watching it unfold is something that, as much as I can speak about it, it's a practice in itself.
Yep. So why is that so important? Why do you think it's so important?
The importance of being present is, this is where, okay, do you want to be controlled? Do you want to be in control of yourself, or do you want to be controlled by something else? Okay, to be in control, it's not controlling somebody else. So this is where we control ourselves. This is where we're in control of our environments. We're in control of what is occurring. We're not presuming it to be something and embracing what it is that's coming. Why is it important? Because the more that we live in the past, okay, we are opening ourselves up to other entities that are around that live in the past, what we call denser energies. So we create as well with the assistance. Now we get to get into all this, we're speaking about thought process and how thoughts work and why thoughts work in the particular way. If we're living in the past, we're creating based on the past what the future is going to be. If we're in the present moment, and we are conscious, if we're in the present moment and we're conscious of what is occurring, okay, we're also conscious on what we are thinking, and we are thinking in the manner that we will choose to see. So we're not going to create something that is not already there, but we're observing and watching what is being formed. So what you think of is what you will experience. You have to experience it because it's already there. You bring in the energy to it by putting a focus on it. So where focus goes, energy grows. So what you focus on is what you will constantly experience.
So you're saying is the more we get to that point of being in the moment, the more control we have over steering where we want our reality to go?
Exactly. Yeah, look, I couldn't say it any better. Yes, we steer it in the direction that we want it. If I'm thinking about what I have been told, which is past tense, I'm creating that reality of what I've been told.
Yep.
Okay, so what are we doing today? I mean, look at Australia at this moment. So let's just come to Melbourne. Based on
Yep.
what we've been told, past tense, okay, which is going to create the reality what we call tomorrow.
Yep.
Right now, what we've been told is not occurring. It's only occurring based on what we've been told. So what we do is, at this moment, this is where all possibilities can unfold. This is where, people want to do manifestation. They want to manifest something. To manifest something, it's not a matter of creating something, but it's a matter of realizing that everything is already in existence. Everything is already set. Whatever you can possibly imagine right this moment is in existence. As you focus on it, you give it energy and you give it
Yep.
life. You experience that. That is how you manifest. If I'm thinking about what I've been told and giving that energy, well, I'll experience that because I'm giving life to that. So what are you focusing on? Are you focusing on what you've been told, or are you focusing on how you would like to see things? Or are you seeing what you want to experience? You see, there's a different way to see it. You see it at this moment. In your mind's eye, you see what you want to experience. Not something that you're going to experience, but you're experiencing it at the moment that you're seeing it. Present time. Because it's out there, it's already in existence, it will eventually unfold before you. This is the present moment.
So what about people daydreaming about the future?
Again, we can daydream about the future, and what is the daydream? What is it they're daydreaming about? They can daydream. What is their actions to that daydream as well? So what are they daydreaming? If we're daydreaming of I don't know, my daydream, if you'd like, is a world of no taxes. How do we achieve something like that? What is it we are actually focusing on? What is our focus on today? What is it that we truly want to see tomorrow? Are we individually focusing on our own personal lives? My focus is constantly on growing and consciously becoming aware of who I am, being aware of my surroundings in the present moment. In the present moment, things unfold for me. Things work out the way that they work. I see things the way that I see them. They're my perspectives through my eyes, in my mind's eye.
Yep.
How I understand things is the way that I understand them. But the present moment, we're all in the present moment. What we don't do is be aware that we are in the present moment. We think we are not. We want to be in peace. We are peace. We are actually peace. It is noise around us that we are feeling. We hear the noise. We feel the sensations. We have these things, but we're not what we have. So we put our focus on them, and we get disturbed. This is being misaligned. When someone is being misaligned, if you're not in the present moment, you're misaligned.
I guess because you're either thinking about the past or thinking about the future.
Exactly right. So
And
you're
you're not
not
in
in
the
the
moment,
present moment. That's right.
where
So you're
all the
not going to
control
be.
is, all the experience is.
When a healing occurs, when you do a healing on someone, you're healing them no matter where the distance is, because time itself, again, in the present moment, there is no distance, because the distance only exists on the belief that time was there. Right now, you and I are in this moment right now. Anybody who's listening to us is in this moment. These are the words that everybody is listening to. I am listening to my own words right now, becoming past tense. We are in the present moment. If you're not listening to what is being said, you're somewhere else. You're not in the present moment.
Yep. I guess you could be. Some people could be trying to work out what's going on, and then they've taken them out of the moment, and they've missed what's going on, I guess.
Yeah, unless you're in this constant, the present moment is constant, and to maintain the present moments and be aware in the present moment, you can go and discuss what has happened. You can see it in a different way, though. You don't see it. We see things that we've been told in a particular way because that's how we understand them. That's what we've been educated with. When we remove the education or understand education, we can hear things that have been said with a different way of understanding it, with different visions. Right in front of us now, there's one picture. There's not many parts. We think there's many parts. We have many names for the one picture.
Yep.
Okay, so we have a TV, we have a plant, we have a candle, we have this, or we have that. But remove those words and just look at it as one picture. There's a different story when you see one picture instead of focusing on one part. So because we're only used to focusing on one part and we don't see the bigger picture, we see the whole picture at the same time, we think something is being said, but we don't see hand movements because we don't understand them. We don't see body language because we don't understand what they mean when they're saying something and they move a particular way. We're not used to that. When you look at the surroundings and you look at the symbols that they have around them, there's a whole different language again. So each word changes depending on the surroundings and the symbols. So to be able to see something in the present moment, you cannot just focus on one thing. You look at everything at the same time. Nothing is there or there. There's no here or there at that moment. It is here right now. All of this is here.
Heightened awareness.
It is a heightened. It's being consciously aware. So there is a process that we become. We observe our actions.
Yep.
Okay. We know we observe. We become aware that we know that we observe. Then we are consciously aware that we know we observe. Once we get to conscious, okay, yes, we are conscious of the actions of the moment. We are conscious of what is occurring right now. Right now, we just allow the moment to unfold for what it is. It's not a matter of thinking of it should be or should not be. This is what it is. And this is how it becomes. Dull.
So how does that help people? Like, just say you got someone that's spiritually growing and they're trying to work all that out. What benefits do you think that would bring to them?
Self-healing. We go to a lot of the issues that we hold on to are based on the past and the knowledge that we've been given. When you know how the mind works, how the body works, when you know yourself for who you are, when you know your own energy, your own frequency, you create your illness, or you understand what an illness is. An illness is an unbalancing, being out of the moment. It is a vibration, frequencies. You raise your frequency, you raise it above that frequency that's keeping you out of balance. Being in the present moment, see?
So it's all about being in that balance.
Everything is about balancing ourselves, and we cannot balance ourselves if we are thinking of the past or the future. We are here to heal ourselves. We're experiencers. We're to experience the full potential of the human body. If our focus is on our thoughts on yesterday or tomorrow, and we're missing out on what is this body, we are limited to the belief that we have been given about what this body is. We say you have a body, great. You have to go to the doctor because something is wrong with you. Knowing yourself, knowing who you are, not because I tell you or not because somebody else tells you, because you know it for yourself. You know oneself. As you know oneself, you know what you are able to do. The abilities that oneself has is very different to what one has been told.
So the abilities and the ability to heal yourself, as you've just come to spend more time in this moment, this has brought you more awareness and more abilities to deal with yourself or in your growth?
When one allows oneself to just express oneself, to speak about what the body itself is capable of doing, it is more than what we've been told. I can state that. This is not about me. This is about the earth at this moment. The earth is going through a change and a shift. We're all going through it. But we keep focusing on what we've been told. As long as we keep doing what we've been told, we will not be in the present moment. In the present moment, you will heal. Once you start to radiate or to align yourself with the earth frequency, that's the balance. The earth energy comes from below. You get the above energy, which is a little bit different to what you understand above to be. You receive the earth energy. The earth energy is healing right now.
Yeah.
You say, whatever is going on out there, the earth is actually healing. Once we connect ourselves to the present moment, because the earth energy is in the present moment. Sorry, that noise is a bit distracting. Once we connect to the earth in the present moment, we receive the healing. The body itself is able to do a lot of things that you cannot imagine. Tai Chi is not a matter of just speaking about Tai Chi. If you've heard of the term Taoism,
Yeah.
okay, it's flowing in the moment. Okay, mudra is a part of it. Healing of the chakras is a healing of the body. It goes deeper than that. There's a lot of knowledge that we have not been given. There's a lot of knowledge that people, the simplistic aspect of spirituality is a grade 3 level of knowledge.
Yep.
There is a lot more in the present moment. And when I do say the present moment,
Yep.
the present moment itself is observing the story that one is living. As you understand the story that you're living in the present moment, what you know and what you are capable of doing, just because somebody else does not see it, does not mean it's not being done.
Yep.
Not everybody understands it, and it's not the easiest journey to come to the center of the earth. Movies are telling us all the time.
Yep.
You know, we're centering ourselves. We are the earth itself. We are centering to the core. The body itself is capable of doing so much. If you want to focus on abilities, okay, that's where you're going to go to. You're going to go to your abilities. You can do some readings. You can read somebody's mind, or you can do a healing here and there. If you cannot heal yourself, if you don't know who you are yourself, okay, the process of what you're living is still based on what somebody else has told you.
Yeah.
No one truly
Absolutely.
knows no one knows what spirituality is. Okay, everybody believes what they've been told it is. And it's not the words that we actually, if you really want to work with the word spirituality, do not work with it with a language that you believe that you know.
Well, that makes sense. I guess it can only be experienced, not taught.
That's why they say experience. See, everything that you know is hearsay. You know, everything that we speak is based on hearsay. In a court of law, what we're saying is irrelevant because it's hearsay. If you've been told something, we do learn by reading, we do learn from teachers, but no one can show you you. No one can tell you who you are. The greatest mystery there is yourself. We are the greatest mystery. We are one mystery that they cannot figure out. Yeah, they might be able to figure out what we have, the mechanics of things, but they do not know what the driver is. They do not know what the educated one is. You see, what do you call a soul? Is it soul? Is it spirit? Is it consciousness? What do you want to call it? They're the same thing. It's not something that you can grasp. It's something that is beyond
It is.
grasp.
Yeah.
Okay. That's what we are. That's what we truly are. We're not what we have, remember. Knowing that we're not what we have, that's which we are, they cannot control. Okay, just like they can put chips in vehicles these days and turn them on and off, they can do that to the body. But they cannot do it to the consciousness. If you are conscious of yourself in the present moment, you'll know why you're making decisions for yourself. You'll know that it's not a matter of, okay, somebody says that this is what's going on out there. Yeah, that's fair enough. It is going on. I don't know it is. I'll take your word for it. It's not my journey to know that, though. If I'm going to concern myself with what everybody else is knowing, that's their journey. There's something for them to learn in that. We have a system which is created for us to keep our focus on the external world. Everything is about what is happening out there. And out there, everything out there is in the second. Out there is the second. Out there is time. Out there is from the body is out there. We are not out there. We are in here. Where is in here? Not where out there is.
So are we the first if the second is the second?
If we want to work with that, yes, the second is the past. The first is the observer. Okay,
Yep.
it goes further. You start going deeper and deeper. Um, as the macro externally, the infinite possibilities externally are infinite internally. There is no point to say it ends and no point to say it begins.
Yep.
You do not stop going in. There is the point where there is no point where something began. There is no point where something ends. The idea does not end. Our history is still there. Everything that has happened, that has been experienced, is still there. We are just here. To understand there and removing time, there and here are the same points. It's consciousness. We do not have a boundary to what consciousness is. The boundary is educated. It is a belief that we are incapable of doing something.
Yep.
People speak about past lives. Again, it's all based on our language. You do not have past lives. You do not get born and you do not die. Okay, just like vehicles, there's no car there one day. It goes to a factory, gets built, gets sold. The driver goes into it, drives it around, gets rid of it, goes and buys another one afterwards. That's the body. Who's the driver?
Yep.
The driver is the observer. The driver is the knower. The driver is the awareness. The driver is the consciousness. The driver is what you want to call soul or spirit.
I've always
The
found that.
driver. Say.
I've always found that fascinating. How in spirituality people have to reference everything and they have to put it in a box. It's this and this happened. When deep down inside, it's all of the above, but none of the above.
Yeah, it's all of the above and none of the above. When we accept, the moment you can accept that what has just happened has happened. There's no way for it to be different to the way it has happened. The moment you start thinking that it has to be something different, okay, you're playing into their game. That's the game of the system. That's the matrix itself, the illusion. What terminology you want to use there. That's the way it's designed for you to put your focus on something outside of yourself. We as children, just remember, children are always fascinated with something new, always.
Yeah.
You have a toy for a little while, then something new comes along, you throw the old toy away and go to the new one straight away. That's humanity. But that's the soul, the child within us. That's the child that everybody keeps talking about. That's a child that we ignored when we went to school to be something that they wanted us to be.
Yeah.
People want to speak about shadow work. There's just shadow work. Bring that child back. That's the uneducated child. That's the one that they tried to suppress and hold back within us. That's the one that knew what it knew before it got educated, by the way. That's what we know.
Just used to observe the ants or that and wonder, what are they doing? What's their life about? And, just the curiosity of
No. That was the child that was just relearning the language. You see, it's already experienced. It already knew. When you change vessels, if you buy one car, okay, it doesn't mean you need to learn to re-drive again. You just need to learn the new vehicle at that moment. It might be, you might have had an American vehicle or an Australian vehicle, and you go into a Japanese vehicle.
Yeah, this
you just had to
control and a CD player.
Yeah, so you had a few little extras now that you had to relearn. That is what the vehicle is for. The child itself comes, the soul comes through back into the body. It relies on our teachers, our guides, to guide us through the process of remembering who we are.
Yeah.
That got sabotaged a long time ago. But that is
Oh
how.
yeah, if you leave that
So
up
we
to the
go to
system,
school.
dear God.
So we go to school now. They give us this education, and the education is based on focusing.
And what they
Okay,
want
now
us to
this
do.
is well, they get us to focus on the past. Think about it. They want us to focus on the external world. The external world, everything that you can see right this moment is past tense.
Yep.
So they want us to hold on to that past. So they want us to focus, give the energy to the past. That's what we're educated with. You think you've done everything? You think that, most people right this moment, think about your day. You really believe that you've actually done it. You can't go back to it. You can think about it, yes, but can you go back to it? You think you really did it? Yes, as I said, in the present moment, you see things very differently to the way that we've been educated. If you believe that we've even been talking,
Yep.
okay, that's still a belief. That's what we've been educated with. That's how the program works for us to believe that something is occurring, which it's not occurring because it's already past tense. That's the system wants you to focus on that. Give that energy. When you give something energy, it's got to
Yep.
come from somewhere, which is coming from you. You give the energy, you give your focus, you start to age.
Well, yeah, because I've noticed that since I've become more aware and more spiritual, is time takes on a totally different meaning. Something that happened to me like a couple of days ago might as well be a year ago. It just feels that way.
Well, exactly right. What is a day ago? What is a year ago? Because the memory itself, how long does it take you to remember something?
Yep.
That's how long a year ago was. That's how long. Now, that's how long 1,000 years ago is as well. We've just had an
Yep.
education. We've just had a program put into us that puts that boundary, making us believe past life. And now listen to it. Your past life. The moment you say past life, it means that one life has ended and another one has begun. That
Yep.
unconsciously creates that belief, which says that you will live, you're born, and then you die. Again, that's dismissing the consciousness, the soul, the spirit, what do you want, again, whatever you want to call that spark that you truly are.
Yep.
That which does not get born nor does it die. That which is energy. Once you realize that's what you are, then you tap into yourself. The first thought, let's go to the first thought. Okay, the first thought created every other thought. Just the first thought. It's
Yep.
irrelevant to how it got created. The first thought created everything. When we can understand that there's only the first thought and its creation, that
Yep.
everything is just the first thought. You are the first thought, I'm the first thought, and everybody watching this is the first thought. Okay, the first thought, can you put a boundary? Can you put a point where it begins and where it ends? There is
No.
no concept of what a thought is. It's just there, here, now, at this moment. It can be experiencing itself in any way it chooses. It's using you to experience itself. It's using me to experience itself. It's using everyone at this moment to experience itself, to remember something of itself.
And then why do we have boundaries and limitations? It's like we put them all on
Um,
ourselves.
okay, because we have this thing called individuality.
Yep.
Now we use words. We are separate. Uh, when we get into what an illusion is, what a matrix is, and how it works, fractals. Everything comes from the one.
Yep.
That one is not separate. There's no boundaries between one and one and one and one. It's just one. Okay, everything is connected. When we speak about connection, I'll put this one. What we know is space. Think about this. There's nothing and there's something. So we have something that comes out of nothing.
Yep.
Okay, so it doesn't matter what the something is. If you look around you at this moment and look at the nothing, not the something, the nothing that's all around you. Okay, you can see that nothing. You can see that that nothing is between you and something. Okay, now if you start looking around the room, you'll see that nothing is between you and something. Now, if you notice something, though, the nothing is more than the something.
How do you mean?
There's more empty space than there
Oh,
is
yeah.
items. So there's more nothing than there is something. Okay, if you were to remove the nothing, would you be able to distinguish the something?
No. It'll be
Well,
solid.
what would it be? Would you?
Yeah.
Well, how would you know?
There'd be no
So
contrast.
okay. So now, if we look at nothing itself as being spirit, okay, without spirit, the something could not be there.
Okay, yeah.
Okay. So we are, okay, within the nothing. And that nothing itself is what we are. Because once you start breaking down the body, 99% of the body is nothing. Break down the cells, you start to get to 99% of that is nothing as well. And once you get into the quantum, you start to see there's nothing that is nothing. Everything is nothing. We start to get to the minuteness.
Yeah.
When you start to look at it in that manner, we start to see how things work, which is vibration, frequencies, sound. Everything's vibration. We are a vibration. What is vibration? It's not light. Light itself is a vibration as well. So we get to a point where does the light come from? Where does the sound come from? Okay, we are there where the sound comes from.
The movement.
Well, before movement. See,
What? Movement of nothing.
Everything before there was something, that nothing. Okay, see, movement is something. When we look at nothing, okay, we sort of work with what nothing is. We are nothing. We are experiencing something. So whatever that something you want to name now, that naming is what creates all these somethings that we call today. But we are that experiencer. We are that nothing that something comes from. That's the spirit, if you like, or consciousness. Out of consciousness comes what we have around us.
So, something trying to grasp spirituality, how would you let them know how to go about this? Like, if someone was like, they want to come into the moment.
Observation. Observe. Observe what you're doing as you're doing it. Meditation. I never meditate. I'm not a meditator. I do different things to meditate. I do my Tai Chi instead of meditation. In meditation, focus on your breathing. Your breathing is happening in the moment. It's happening right now. The moment that it's happening is when it's happening. It's not going to happen. And it's irrelevant the one that happened before. So each breath is the moment that it's occurring. You focus on that. Light a candle. Focus on the candle in the present moment. If you're in your mind, bring your focus back to what you're doing in the present moment. We don't realize that we're thinking. We're constantly in our mind thinking of something. We'll pull ourselves out and start looking with your eyes. See what's in front of you. See what you're doing. What are your hands doing? Are you holding a cup? Do you have rings on your hands? Be aware of your body. I suppose this is probably the best way to say it. Be aware of your body in the present moment. Focus on your toes. Be aware of your toes. Focus on your feet. Be aware of them in the present moment. You're not thinking about them. You're consciously aware of it. You're consciously aware of yourself right now. Consciously aware of what is in the room before you. Everything that we're doing right this moment, it's not in our heads. The computer's in front of me. The candles are in front of me. They're here right this moment. Am I thinking about what I did yesterday? Am I thinking about what I did an hour before? Am I thinking about what I have to do tomorrow? You're not here now. Catch yourself out. What are you thinking about? Catch that thought. Bring yourself back to the present moment by focusing on your breath. I cannot honestly say how can somebody come into the present moment. Be aware that the time itself is always past tense. How do you want to know? What do you want to know? By knowing as well that there's more to you, knowing that you are not your education. Okay, and every time you start getting yourself stuck into a thought process, know that the words that you're using cannot really assist to know you. We can use every word to know what we've been told that things are. Knowing that you can do that, do you want to know who you are? To know who you are, and to do that, know who you are not. Know what you're not. You're not the table. You're not what you feel. You're not what you see. You're not what you're sensing.
You're
You
not your
can't
job.
sense them. Doesn't mean you're not your job. You're not what you're going to do tomorrow. Does tomorrow exist? How do you know what tomorrow? Question yourself. So you can only question yourself in the present moment as well.
Yeah, because tomorrow never comes.
Well, and if you're aware, if you're at that level where you can honestly be truthful with yourself and say, no, tomorrow does not come, because all we do have is this moment.
Yep.
This moment, yes, it's not changing, it's unfolding, it's expanding. This is an expansion. This is not a moment that's coming and going. This is one moment that is just expanding, unfolding. We don't know what the next moment is. The next moment we can presume, we can presume that tomorrow is going to be Saturday.
Yep.
And we're only going to do that because that's what we've been told. We're not in the present moment thinking about tomorrow, though. Unless you're aware, again, using it as an example. This present moment is, okay, what's happening right this moment? What's occurring? Is somebody learning something? Is somebody gaining something out of this? Well, for myself, I'm gaining a lot out of this. But this is the moment that people should be focusing on, not because I'm speaking, but even when I'm not on the line, when you're on your own, it's this moment. What's occurring in the moment that you're in? What are you feeling at that moment? Is it you that you're feeling?
Yeah.
Do you feel sick? Why do you feel sick? Now question yourself. Are you saying to yourself that I am sick? Listen to the words. Listen to the way you speak. I am sick, or I feel sick. If I feel sick, well, there's something that I'm feeling. If I am sick, I'm claiming to be something. Careful what you say after I am. I am a millionaire. Let's go a bit of an exaggeration. You can be if you want to, but knowing how to do that. I am a millionaire, or I feel $1 million. Okay, that's a very different way to actually speak, and how the energy itself changes as well. I feel tired. Okay, that's not you. You're feeling something at that moment. I am tired. Okay, now you're claiming to be something that you're not. So by claiming to be what you're not, you're going to experience it, because that's what you are now. You see, this is how powerful we are. That's our power, to be whatever we choose to be. That's what they say. You can be whatever you choose to be. Let's keep it realistic, though. Can you be a dragon? Don't know how to do that yet, but the possibilities are there.
I don't know.
But understand. Yeah, so have I. But understanding our language and understanding that we can be sick, or we can feel. We can be this, or we can feel this. We can be that, or we can feel that. I am feeling this. I feel good. Yes, there's this thing called good that I can feel. I am good. Okay, well, then that makes me to be that. So I don't want to limit to myself to what I am. I don't know what I am. I know I can be.
So for some people that someone was asking, for some people, being in the moment does not void you of responsibilities, of appointments or planning for the future and stuff like that. What's your take on that?
Okay. Okay. Now, this is where it gets you have to go deep within yourself to understand this. How do you know that's what you have to be doing? Who told you that that's the life that you have to live? Isn't that what we've just been speaking for the past whatever period of time that we've been talking about? Control, how we've been controlled, our thought process itself. Do you want to live a life that you have been told that this is the life that you have to live because this is the only way that it's done? Or do you want to know for yourself that there is a different way? Not because somebody else told you. So, responsibilities, yes, there are responsibilities, but know your own responsibilities, not because somebody said this is your responsibility. The process of knowing oneself is also knowing what you have been told, knowing how you've been controlled. You say this is breaking chains. This is breaking a mind control. This is brainwashing. You brainwash yourself, literally. You brainwash yourself from the ideas that you believe this is the way things are. To truly know yourself, how do you know that you have to pay bills? How do you know that you have to be responsible for something? Where did you come to believe that? Why do you believe that? Who said that you have to believe that? Are you what you have been told? So again, to go to the core and to the depth of that one, really ask yourself, why
it's
do
like
you believe that?
we just do what they tell us how it works, and we just sort of like accept it, and then just go about it without questioning it.
And that's my point. Exactly. Why do we do what we do? How do you know what things are? What is your belief? How did you come to believe it? Doesn't matter what the belief is. Your education, whatever you believe, is not yours. If you believe you have to pay bills, it's not because you know you have to pay bills. It's because somebody told you. So you believe it to be real. Somebody told you that you cannot walk on water. Okay, it's only something that you read in a book. You don't know that. But because you believe you cannot walk on water, well, there's your creation, your reality there. Will you ever attempt it to know? I'm not saying you can. I'm not saying you can't. I don't know. I haven't tried walking on water. But who says you can't? Who says you can? Who tells you what you believe? What did you know before you were educated? Your education is your limitation.
Yep.
The more you know, go.
What would you suggest people if they want to break these cycles and understand themselves more and know more about themselves?
Okay, I'll go to this. Know what you are not.
Yep.
Literally, know what you are not. To know who you are, know what you are not. Literally know. Pick the senses. You have senses. Let me just take you to this. You have senses. Okay, you have your taste buds. You have all the senses that they speak about. You have them. You have your sixth sense and so forth. You have those. They're tools that you use. Okay, who are you that uses those senses? Those senses get you to feel, to see, to do everything that you're doing, to hear. You're not those senses. You're not what you're experiencing. If I'm trying to find to simplify, I don't know if I can simplify it. You are an experiencer. You are experiencing things. Who is it that you are? Don't focus on the experience. Enjoy the experience, but who is it that is experiencing it? The body is an experience. The thought is an experience. Feelings are experiences. Sight is an experience. Listening is an experience. Who is it that is doing it? Ask yourself, what is it that I'm not? To know oneself, know what you are not.
Yep.
I don't know how else to say. Do you believe what you've been told? Question your education. Are you the words that you have been given from school?
Yep.
You went to school. You were given your ABC. Think about it. ABC creates the words that you use. The words create the sentences create the paragraphs, and so forth and so forth. How do you know ABC? Yep. Somebody told you how. Even when you think you have an original thought, do you?
Well, we've been given that meaning.
You've been given the words,
yep.
Okay, that you're using to think. Okay, are you thinking, or are you giving energy to a thought process? Are you a thought?
That is the question.
So, yeah, look, I can go to this. If you think of an idea, okay, are you actually thinking of that idea, or have you just focused on what you call a thought, an idea? And because you're focusing on it now, you're giving it energy. Where focus goes, energy grows. So is it your thought? Is it your idea? Or is it something that you have picked up in the energy field around you that you grabbed your attention, you put your focus on, gave it energy, and voila, manifested it afterwards.
It makes you
And
think what
then
we
you,
manifest in our lives. It just makes you think how, like the stuff that we can, the potential, the stuff that we can do to ourselves just by not controlling our
using
thought
the
process.
think about the bills that you're paying. How do you? I mean, you're manifesting paying bills. You're at this moment right now. You're not paying bills. Okay, you think that outside of this moment you have to pay bills. If this moment is all there is, that is constantly unfolding and expanding, at what point do you have to pay bills? If you are healthy right now, at what moments will you not be healthy if you're healthy now? So being in the present moment has a lot to, having a strong mind to not allow your past thoughts, the way that you lived. So we live in a particular way which is educated. It's a program, you know, A, B, C, this is what you do. Can you live by being responsibility? Every word that I say is my word. My word. Not picking it up from, you know, some fantasy idea of something else speaking for me at this moment. I'm not interested in somebody else telling me. I'm not interested in me giving you answers to everything. You have an ability. We all have this ability to see things from the now moment and to see the past as its own. This is the future. Right now, we are in the future. This future is becoming the past. Okay? We're not going to a future. The future is what we created. The future is what we want it to be. But because we're given a future based on the past and what they tell us, we're creating tomorrow. We're creating it based on somebody else's idea. That's how things work. They're the energies at play at this moment. This is how powerful you are. We are so powerful that they had to convince us that we were not powerful, that we could not do this. Outside of this, there's nothing outside of this moment right now. This is what is unfolding. Being conscious, you're aware, this moment right now, this is all there is. Whatever we speak about is becoming the past tense. Where would the future be? How can there be a future if this is constantly unfolding? So we must be in the future right now, and the future becomes the past. Okay. So we're in the present moment. The present itself is the future. Okay. There's nothing to do tomorrow other than what we believe based on the past. So the way that we've been living from the past, based on the idea of somebody else, we then manifest yesterday's information and we just copy it for tomorrow. What we did yesterday, we're going to do tomorrow. There's no difference. You know, where is the difference? You get up, it's all routine. You get up in the morning, you go to work at 9 o'clock. Yes, I know times are different. Finish at 5 o'clock, get home, cook dinner, sit down, watch some TV, go to sleep, repeat. That's done because of yesterday, because you don't believe that there is anything else. Most people do that because they don't know that this is all there is, and whatever they want from this moment onwards, they can create for themselves. But the fear of the consequences of letting go, see, it's the consequences. To let go of what you believe, to let go of the belief itself, you know, letting go of the belief. This is where you start getting people who say, no, you can't do this. You have to do it this way. No, don't forget this, you know, you got this. Okay, so you've got everyone, you've got your Smiths, and the Matrix comes into it. Your Smith is everybody who tries to pull you out of the present moment to live in the past with them. So the system cannot work with us in this present moment. The system has no control right here. The system only has control in our thoughts. When we go into a thought thinking that we have to do something for tomorrow, presumption, that's where the system works. The system cannot do anything to us when we are conscious of what is unfolding as it unfolds. If we think that we have to pay a bill tomorrow, that's the system that's already put the program within us for us to do that. This healing, this is all, this is self-healing. As you heal yourself, because that's what you do. It's not
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, there are healing modalities. There's energy. The body is energy. You can work on the body. You can work with chakras. You can work with meridians. You can clear energy channels. You can do all of that. But that is just giving somebody a fish. It's not teaching somebody how to fish. We can do all these healings, and there's all these different modalities to assist somebody to know themselves. And everyone can do what I do. Everyone can do what you do. You've heard of the 100 monkey syndrome? When the 100 monkeys together, when one monkey first picked up the potato and washed it, there was a chain reaction that monkeys around the world started to actually do the same thing without ever having contact. Okay, well, that says that when a new ability comes through, okay, that ability is energetically comes through.
Yeah.
We all receive it at that moment. Okay, what's one's thought process? Is one living in the past, so far in the past that they don't receive the energy in the moment? Because the energy only comes in the moment. Whatever energy I send to you is not going to be tomorrow or 5 minutes away from here. If I do work on you, if I have to do some healing on you, it will be right this moment that I'm doing it. The distance between yourself and myself only exists in my mind. Therefore, it does not exist. So you are present within me right this moment while I do work. Okay, being that you're in the present moment, I'm not doing anything because it's one.
Yep.
The present moment is one. I'm not doing anything because I have already shown you what to do for yourself in the present moment. You're here. Why would you feel sick if you're in the present moment? So there's a lot involved in healing.
Yeah.
I have
We'll
an issue with a lot of healing.
We'll have to get you back another time.
I know, I was watching the time going past.
But what you're saying made totally sense. I mean, when you talk about group consciousness and all that, and manifestation, just as everything is a singularity, as you say with the monkeys, is when that's why it's so important for us to focus on the right stuff, because it does affect the future and affects everyone around us just by where we put our energy in our mind.
The critical, I don't know if you've heard the term, the critical mass.
Yep.
Okay, that's we're at the critical mass now. There's enough awakened individuals that the energy has shifted.
Yep.
It's already we're already at that point where now all we really require to do is just watch everything unfold,
and still be positive.
Well, if you can see, I don't see a negative to what is occurring. I only see a positive. See, I'm not looking. I don't look at Corona or COVID or anything like that as what we've been told. I hear two sides of the story. I hear the story that we've been told, or we can read up or research, which is public knowledge at this moment, or look at it symbolically. And once you understand the symbolisms, you understand words as well. Corona itself, if no one really knows this, Corona is your crown chakra. Okay, so you hear corona, if you work with Latin, it means crown. So could it be that the coronavirus, now this, again, I'm going to really stretch this here, but it's very symbolic.
Yep.
Could it be that the crown chakra is opened up, energy is coming through? Now, 19, they called it coronavirus, COVID-19. 19 is symbolic with the letter S. The S is the center line between the yin and yang. Okay, it's where yin and yang actually join. So S numerically is number 19. Okay, so we've got a lot of symbols that are working there to what I see when it comes to Corona and COVID and what is happening in this world.
Yeah, it's not coincidence.
There's nothing is, everything is synchronous. Everything is happening exactly as it should. Is it right? Is it wrong? Again, this is where our own judgment comes into it at this moment. Do we judge something that has happened to be, it should have happened or shouldn't have happened? It has happened. Could it have been different? Yeah, but it's irrelevant whether it could have been. It is what we can speak about. How we see it is very different, yes, because there's so many different ways to see something that has actually occurred. And remember, the moment's unfolding as well. As this moment unfolds, it becomes the past. If you're not judging what is unfolding, we only see it to what we have been told. So it's really been created by somebody else to what we then discuss.
Yep. Fascinating. We could go on and on and on for hours.
I can go on. You know, I can go on forever and ever.
Yeah, I know we do talk for hours and hours now. Sometimes we talk all day.
Exactly right.
We'll have to have you on. It's a fascinating side because people talk about gifts and they talk about experiences, but to go inside the philosophy of the consciousness and actually
my perspective
is fascinating.
Remember, this is my perspective. This is how I see things. This is the world that I see. I can only give you what I know, how I see it through my eyes. It's taken me years to actually get the right words. Even the words I still struggle with speaking to people these days. But one thing, look, I just want to make clear, this is my perspective. This is how I see things. I'm not into many things that we hear. I do know a lot of things. When I say I know a lot of things, I know what is out there. I know what is researchable. I know what spirituality and the levels of spirituality that exist. Everything is a level.
Yes.
My advice to everyone as well is no matter what level you are of spirituality, no matter what abilities you have, don't hold on to them. Let them go. Empty your cup to receive the new information. If you hold on to something, you're not going to be able to receive anything new. The moment is constantly giving you a gift. It's always gifting you. The present is always there, constantly unfolding. If you hold on to one gift, you'll miss out on the other gifts that are there. Slowly, slowly, you get to the present moment. Slowly, slowly, you become yourself. Slowly, slowly, you are who you are. Question what you believe. Question what you believe you are.
Yeah. Okay.
And yes, anytime, mate. Go for it.
Yeah. No worries, people. Before we say goodbye, and I'll just give you a sneak peek. Next week on Soul Focus, we've got Nicole Rhodes. She's an energy care worker, meets solutions-based holistic guidance through conversation with love. It should be a fascinating chat. And that will be the same time next week. Well, yeah, we'll definitely do this again. You can come on anytime. There's so many conversations.
Anytime, mate. You just let me know. Anyway, we speak a lot. Anybody, look, we always talk Discord. You can go and tell them about Discord.
Yep.
I'm always there.
Got a Discord channel, and it's just piled full of research on just every topic that you can imagine. And if you contact him, his links for Stathi's healing is in the links below. So if you want to get hold of him and find out how to talk to him, just drop him a message there, and he will lead you. He'll show you where the rabbit hole is, and he'll go. No, you go down. It's on you.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Yep. Okay. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everyone, for listening. Thanks for your patience. Have a lovely evening.
Yep. And I'll see you on Sunday for Sunday and Chill readings and healings. Okay. So, everyone, thanks, Stath.
Thanks, mate. Speak to you later. Take care, everyone.